for roles, it's one of those fun activities actors do. They basically torture themselves a little bit by looking out there and saying, yeah, that's the kind of role that describes just me exactly. So, what to look for in roles? Where to search for those roles? How do you apply for roles if you don't have an agent yet? Should you apply for roles even if you have an agent? Let's discuss. A casting director will put out a casting call and describe a variety of characters. They'll give an age range, they'll give a description, maybe physical, maybe intellectual, maybe a little bit of the story of the character, and then they let people apply for them. For a union or a paid project, they will expect that an agent will be submitting you. However, there's a variety of services out there that allow you to self-submit. But should you? The basic idea is casting directors most probably will not look at self-submissions. The main reason is they get so many agents submitting their actors for those roles and asking for an audition that they simply don't have the time to go through all of those submissions. There are services out there like Backstage and Actors Access and Now Casting and many more that actually allow you to self-submit, and I have to be honest, indie films, even if they're unionized, cast from self-submissions from those websites. But what I discussed previously still applies. If a film or a movie is using a casting director, the submissions will go directly to the casting director, and guess what? The casting director will still prioritize those audition requests that came directly from an agent. Now Casting, Actors Access, Backstage, and a bunch of others. Well, they actually have lists of breakdowns. Breakdowns basically are lists of roles that are being cast in a particular geographical area. And so, if there's something that you're interested in submitting, you should connect with your agent and let them know, hey, I noticed that in Vancouver, they're casting for this movie and I'm really interested in that role. Would you please submit me? It's a great idea to have a conversation with them about the kind of roles that you really want to have in the next few months, what you're looking for in your acting career, where you're planning to go in terms of maybe a different location and you wanting to move to a movie making capital like Vancouver or Los Angeles or New York. Have that conversation because the agent will have an idea of what roles you're looking for and what to submit you for. And hey, if you're lucky and you've built a trusting relationship with your agent, that conversation is going to bring you even closer. In a modern world where pretty much anybody with a cell phone can probably make a short film, well, you have a lot of opportunities as a beginning actor. There's a lot of Facebook groups and probably groups on social media that is outside of Facebook that advertise a lot of roles. And that is your gold mine. My suggestion is join your local Facebook group that is related to casting calls, acting, and filmmaking, because the majority of the casting calls for short films, web series, even indie films will be posted there. Casting calls on those Facebook groups will be specific. They will tell you exactly how to submit for those roles. Follow those directions. Don't just reply to it and say, I'm interested. That's not going to help you at all. Instead, read the instructions on how to submit. Perhaps people are expecting for you to send an email with your headshot and resume and maybe a demo reel. Perhaps people will ask you to send a direct message, and maybe there could be a different submission method. So pay attention to those. Be polite, be concise, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to audition for more than one role. If you see that the character description is appealing, apply. In the Facebook groups, there's a lot of casting calls, and a few of them might not be the best for you. So how do you figure out what is the best casting call to submit for? And if you're offered a role, what kind of questions should you ask before actually accepting it? Of course, you're doing acting for a particular reason. Whatever that reason might be, you have to take into consideration, am I going to have fun? Is this project going to benefit me and my acting in any way or shape? Can I use this material for a demo reel? Will I be proud of the finished product? Will I ever see this product? Will I ever want to work with these people again? Is this a good networking or learning opportunity? Those questions that you are internally having should also reflect external questions that you will ask to the people involved in the project, whether it's a producer, a director, whoever said, yeah, we would like to offer you a role. Ask to read the script. I probably would suggest that 100% of the time, if you can, before accepting a role, read the entire script, and not just the character that you're applied for, but the whole thing. From the script, identify the themes and the messages that the script deals with, and see if you align with those themes and messages, or if those are important to you, or you will be proud to participate in a project that addresses those themes and messages. What's the crew like? What's the size of the crew? How many people are involved? Who's the director of photography? Who's going to be doing the editing? Who's directing? Who's the assistant director? What is the post-production schedule? In other words, when is the project expected to be completed? What is the plan for the final product? Is it going to be submitted to festivals? Is it going to be shown locally? Is it going to have an online or in-person premiere? What's the plan? What's going to happen with the film? And once you had enough information to make a decision, if you see that the project is really nothing that you want to be a part of, or you feel that it's just perhaps too overwhelming for now, there's nothing wrong with saying sorry, but unfortunately this project is not for me. Your action for today is to make a plan and a goal on the two kinds of roles that you really want to play in the next year. If you have an agent, have that conversation with them. If you don't have an agent, try to think of where you will land those roles. I'm Jin from Jin's Martini Shot. Thank you so much for watching. Have an awesome day.